We should definitely hang out sometime. Let's grab coffee soon. I miss you, we need to catch up. How many times have you said these things to someone and then never actually followed through? Or how many times has someone said them to you only to disappear back into the void of their busy life? If you're like most people, the answer is a lot. And every time it happens, there's that little pang of guilt or disappointment. Another friendship slowly fading away. We all have a graveyard of dead or dying friendships. People we used to be close with who are now just names on our Instagram feed. People we genuinely care about, but somehow never make time for. And what's our default explanation for this? Distance. Busyness. Life getting in the way. We just live in different cities now. Everyone's so busy with work and kids. That's just what happens as you get older. But here's the brutal truth. Distance isn't why your friendships don't last. Busyness isn't why your friendships don't last. These are convenient excuses that help us avoid the real reason. Your friendships don't last because you're not treating them like relationships. You're treating them like conveniences. I realized this the hard way. After college, I watched my friend group slowly disintegrate. At first, I blamed the usual suspects. People moved away, got demanding jobs, entered serious relationships. But then I noticed something strange. Some people in my life maintained strong friendships despite these exact same challenges. They had the same 24 hours in a day, the same geographic limitations, the same life demands, yet their friendships thrived. What were they doing differently? The answer was simple but uncomfortable. They were treating friendship like a relationship that requires investment, not a convenience that happens when everything aligns perfectly. Think about it. When you're in a romantic relationship, you don't just hang out when it's convenient. You make plans, you keep commitments, you communicate regularly, you work through conflicts, you make sacrifices. But with friendships, we treat them as optional, something we'll get to if everything else in life is perfectly balanced. And then we wonder why they wither away. The breakthrough came when I started applying relationship principles to my friendships. I call it the friendship as relationship approach, and it completely transformed my social life. Here's how it works. First, be explicit about the relationship. In romantic relationships, there's usually a clear moment when you define the relationship. With friendships, it's more ambiguous. Change that. Tell your friends they matter to you. Be clear about wanting the friendship to last. This isn't weird, it's honest. Second, create consistent connection points. Don't rely on spontaneous hangouts or whenever we're both free, which is never. Set up regular check-ins. Maybe it's a monthly dinner, a weekly phone call, or even just a dedicated text thread where you share highlights from your week. Third, and this is crucial, keep your commitments. When you make plans with friends, treat those plans with the same seriousness you would a work meeting or a date. Don't be the person who's always canceling or rescheduling. Your actions tell people where they rank in your priorities. Fourth, invest in the relationship even when it's not convenient. Send that text just to check in. Remember their important days. Share articles or memes that made you think of them. Small, consistent investments compound over time. Finally, be willing to have difficult conversations. Friendships, like all relationships, hit rough patches. Maybe they said something that hurt you, or you feel the connection fading. Don't just ghost or let it dissolve. Address it directly. I've noticed we haven't been as close lately. I value our friendship and want to understand what's happening. What makes this approach so effective is that it acknowledges a simple truth. Meaningful relationships don't happen by accident. They're created through intentional investment. When I started treating my friendships like actual relationships, something interesting happened. Not only did those specific friendships deepen, but I also became more discerning about which connections I wanted to invest in. I stopped trying to maintain dozens of surface-level friendships and focused on nurturing a smaller number of meaningful ones. The quality of my social life improved dramatically. I went from having lots of catch-up-sometime friends to having fewer but deeper connections with people who actually showed up, both for the fun times and the hard times. Now, I'm not saying you need to apply this approach to every person you're friendly with. That would be exhausting. Some people are meant to be casual acquaintances, and that's perfectly fine. I'm talking about the friendships that matter to you, the ones you genuinely miss if they faded away. Look, I still lose touch with people sometimes. I'm human, but the difference is, now I know it's not because of distance or busyness. It's because one or both of us chose not to prioritize the relationship. And that clarity, while sometimes painful, is actually freeing. It puts the power back in your hands. The world isn't going to stop being busy. People aren't going to stop moving away. Life isn't going to stop throwing curveballs that make consistent connection challenging. But you don't have to accept the slow death of your meaningful friendships as inevitable. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, we should hang out sometime, without making actual plans, or blaming distance for a fading friendship, remember, your friendships don't last because of external circumstances. They last because you decide they're worth the investment. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe for more no BS advice on emotional clarity. I post new videos every week that cut through the fluff and give you actual tools you can use. If you've struggled with maintaining friendships or have your own strategies for keeping connections strong, drop them in the comments below. I read every comment, and I'm always looking for new perspectives to share. Until next time, remember, friendship isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create.